Now we're going to take a look at our second offensive play, Josh Allen from last night. Brian, set the scene for us. What are we looking at here?
We are looking at the next GOAT after Tom Brady. No, all I wanted to do when looking at NFL films was to look at, exemplary use of raw ability in a way. That's kind of like what I wanted to show here is the reason that you get away with certain things with Josh Allen is because he just has exceptional physical traits.
Yeah.
And that's what this is more than anything. He's got some phenomenal route runners out there. So this play is the Emmanuel Sanders catch for the touchdown that we're going to look at. But, we're going to come out in what is now their standard formation on offense. This is what they're probably running somewhere around 60% of the time, 65% of the time.
Yeah.
They came out that Pittsburgh game and they ran what we talked about in the offseason, which was 10 personnel, 1 running back, 0 tight end,
right,
and just spreading it out.
They didn't have dependability at tight end at the time, but now they do.
Right. Or it was 11 personnel, and that tight end was also flexed out, just like all the wide receivers. But they've done more to keep Dawson Knox on the field. He's on the field now for like 80-something% of the plays.
He has 5 touchdowns this year, 5 or 6 or something like that. He's got
5 touchdowns in 4 weeks.
Good for him.
Yep.
Good for him.
Didn't catch anything in Pittsburgh, but the last 4 weeks he's
been a monster.
Yep. So they come out in the 11 personnel. You got Zach Moss lined up to the left of Josh Allen. You have Cole Beasley and Emmanuel Sanders lined up at the top of our screen there on the left side of the formation. You have Dawson Knox, who is not does not have his hand in the dirt, but he is standing towards the end of the line. And then your every play X, Stefon Diggs, who garners so much attention. I mean, I wouldn't want to think what would happen if we didn't have such a dominant player at the Bills. I'm horrible at that, aren't I? Us.
One of those guys?
I'm that guy. I'm brutal. I hate it. Anyways, if the Bills didn't have this dominant X, I don't know how much or what they would be trying to get away with. So on this particular play, they're coming out there in their 11 personnel. And to counter that, we got a 4-2-5 standard nickel. I mean, it literally is the most generic nickel look you can possibly have. And I picked up on the coverage that they're using rather quickly. They have not been very good on defense, and I think the biggest reason is they don't disguise anything. It's
no, they don't.
It's straight in front of you.
Right. What you see is what you get. Oh man, they should legitimately be like 1-4 right now. Cleveland should have beat them.
They should have.
Who else did they beat? They beat the piss out of Philadelphia. But Cleveland should have beat them. I think Cleveland, like in Week 5, would beat Kansas City in Week 5.
Yeah.
So, Kansas City has been terrible. That's their Achilles heel right now. As Patrick Mahomes, they just paid him all this money, but that defense has never grown. It's never changed. I don't see right now after the performances that Kansas City's had the last couple weeks. I don't view them as a Super Bowl contender.
No, you can't.
No, I don't. Not even in the slightest right now because how bad they're playing.
The facts are laid out pretty clear that that the cliche is defense wins championships, but more than anything, you can't have a bad defense, and no Super Bowl winning team has ever had a defense that was 25th or worse.
Yeah,
ever. In all the Super Bowls. It's never happened. It's why when the 16 or 17-0 Patriots were going up against the Giants,
defense,
they had the 26th ranked defense that year. They were not good.
Right.
And it's one of the reasons I actually picked the Giants to win that game. I didn't feel great about it because they had gone up against a juggernaut, but at the same time, I'm like, you got to affect the quarterback. You have to be able to stay in coverage. You have to affect the play. And the Chiefs, when they won their Super Bowl, still didn't have a great defense as far as limiting touchdowns and limiting yards. What got them by was being opportunistic, taking the ball away.
Right.
Things like shortening the field that kind of way, giving the ball back to the offense, and once again, the offense being the reason you're winning the game. Now, the defense did their job by taking the ball away, but predictability, turnovers are not predictable. What is predictable is 3 and outs, like third down efficiency and yards given up.
Right.
Yards, and then yards eventually leads to points too. So if I'm forcing you every down to take a check down, then you have to do it again, and you have to do it again. Not a lot of teams either have the talent to keep doing it repetitiously. Right. I mean, you have to string together 6-minute plays or 6-minute drives, 7-minute drives, and you have to string together 12, 14, 16 play drives, and that's really hard to do. And even as good as the Chiefs were in this game, I know we're not talking about the offense and defense that we're on the opposite sides, but still, it's worth noting that the reason that the Chiefs defense is playing as poorly as they are is because they're just not built the right way.
No,
it's just not.
They've always been coached up. They've never their talent level has never been like insanely like crazy. But the last couple of years they've been coached up to be good, which is one of those weird things. Like mid-season, they'll hit this like epiphany, and they start playing a little bit
like
better.
a 5-week stretch where all of a sudden they can put it together.
Yes,
yeah.
But
I still think it's a lot to do with just being opportunistic with like taking the ball away, strip sacks, things like that. Like I remember when they won their championship, Frank Clark and Tyrann Mathieu were playing unbelievable.
Out of their mind.
Those guys, you literally don't throw the ball towards Mathieu and block. One guy you got to block Frank Clark. And, they had a terrible couple of weeks there. So where are these guys this time around? Well, Tyrann Mathieu's going to show up here. And,
with his hands up.
And not such a great way.
No, not a good way. So, all right, let's watch this play in full.
I still love him, though.
We'll start to break it down. Oh, he spun the ball. That's a unsportsmanlike.
Oh, yeah. Yep. He's having too much fun.
Can't have that. All right, so let's start to break this thing down.
Yeah, so the YouTube clip I used, you may be able to find a different one if you go and search on your own, but I remember the NBC Sunday Night guys, they did show a replay where they had just a focus on Emmanuel Sanders and the route he ran. And I think that's the key to this play along with what Josh Allen does. So we're talking football, right? Oh, yeah. Football.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bills.
So, what they showed on the replay was Emmanuel Sanders pushing the leverage on the cornerback because he gains inside leverage. He runs his route, and he starts rubbing on the corner to force him more to the sideline right before he cuts it back towards the middle of the field a little bit more. And it was just a very vet wide receiver move of how to create separation without literally doing anything illegal at all.
Right.
I mean, it's not interference at all. He's just running his route. He's allowed to run his route wherever he wants. He just can't push you or drag you or anything like that. So, perfect example. Anyone that has someone that's learning how to run routes, Emmanuel Sanders, phenomenal wide receiver to watch. The other great thing that I love about this play is what Josh Allen does with the pocket, and that's actually where we'll start playing the clip. So a little fake there, and pause. He does I'm trying to think the exact same term, the term that people have been using it. It's a gather. He does a gather to really make sure that his shoulders are squared and his hips, his shoulders, and his feet are all square to each other. They're all in line, and it creates the best leverage, momentum, all the physics that go into throwing a football. Well, he's already got a cannon arm. We know that.
Yeah.
But when he's got everything in line, the dude can deliver.
His windup is looking very impressive.
He can deliver throws that just are straight piss missiles. It's just ridiculous. It's like you hear the Nerf sound when he lets go of the ball, just the whistling through the air. And that's the reason this pass is able to land where it
Look
does.
at this pocket.
Pretty good.
I mean,
pocket.
listen, this offensive line that the Bills have is not good. It's not good at all. However, they have quite the pocket here. There's one dude doing nothing. I believe that's Mitch Morse. He is doing nothing right now. He is not blocking anybody. The only one I'm a little concerned about is
Over the tackle.
yeah,
Spencer Brown.
Spencer Brown.
He's good.
He's all right. But I mean, still, Josh has plenty of time. I mean, this is good. This dude, number 99 back here, he don't care. He's just like walking. He's flexing.
Well, the Chiefs are trying to do what a lot of other teams have been trying to do to Josh Allen, which is just like the Bills did to Patrick Mahomes, which is don't blitz.
Right.
For the love of God,
Don't force him
blitz.
out of the pocket. Right.
Right. Keep him in the pocket. Try and get pressure with just 4 and drop as many into coverage as you can. But the problem here is that he's about to deliver a throw that's literally unguardable.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it because it's just one of those frozen rope passes that only a few quarterbacks in the league can do, where it doesn't travel too high, it doesn't drop off too soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let this piss missile go, man. Just over top and drops so perfectly. It is, yes, a dime. A 100% dime from Josh Allen. The frozen rope is my favorite phrase I would use for this. Is, Josh Allen, when throwing off base, can deliver great accurate throws, right? Not like Mahomes, not like Rodgers, but
Right.
he's pretty good. But when you give him a pocket and you give him time to set up and throw, he can throw lasers that you just can't defend. And Emmanuel Sanders is just too savvy as a veteran.
He's having such a
route
good year.
Yeah.
Very good year.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Little. I mean, not even a fake handoff. He's just like, yeah, they're not coming. I'm not even gonna sell this thing.
And when you're watching at home, if you're a Bills fan and you see Josh Allen do this little gather he's about to do, no, good things are about to happen.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. He
That
legit
little hop
steps
step.
in. Yeah. Hop
Mhm.
steps into the throw.
Yep.
And just chucks it. And it gives him so much more power. They're on the 40-yard line.
Yep.
He hits them right on the goal line. I
Yep.
mean, it's not even. We know Josh Allen can throw further than that, but there was so much zip on this ball.
It's not the distance, it's the velocity. That's when people talk about arm talent, that's one thing I want to really remember.
Yeah.
Arm talent doesn't mean throwing the ball deep down the field.
No.
Lots of guys can do it. I got news for you guys. Nathan Peterman can throw the ball pretty far down the field.
He's got great arm strength, but not arm talent.
No arm talent. Of course he can chuck it 60 yards down the field, and it kind of hovers.
I was so hyped for Nathan Peterman. Oh, God. So hyped.
When he came in, when he checked in this week. Yeah.
This week, even like a couple years ago when Buffalo was ready to make him their QB1, dude, people made a song about him. The Peterman can.
Yeah. Well, hey,
And-
I was the first on board the Peterman.
I know
Hype
people who
train.
bought Peterman jerseys that year.
I wrote an article. It was the first time I ever sat down and wrote an article about the draft. And what I wrote was that if the Bills want to take a quarterback, this is the Deshaun Watson year. I didn't feel comfortable with any of the guys for the first round. I was horribly wrong. I was completely misguided by the national media telling me that Deshaun Watson couldn't possibly be a good pro because look what he does in college and he scrambles too much and blah, blah, blah.
Hey, man, it may have taken a couple years, but you hit the nail right. You were very wrong about Mr. Trubisky. I mean, obviously it's a Bill now, so you were very wrong about Mitch Trubisky.
I didn't have any hot takes about Trubisky. I think I was very fair and balanced when it came to him. But anyways, I said, if you need to take a quarterback, wait until day 3. Take Nathan Peterman out of Pitt.
Right.
Because he seemed like the guy that understands defense as well. And I guess he's great in the film room. Like, I bet he really is an asset. I really do think that he helps guys diagnose stuff.
He's probably going to be a good coach someday.
Yeah.
And obviously Gruden likes him enough that he's been keeping him around. So
those who can't do, teach.
It's usually true. I mean, listen, a guy like Peterman, who's most famous for throwing 5 interceptions in a game and a half, all right, he has no business having an NFL job, but he has to be good at something, and obviously there's something there.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, let's watch this play unfold one more time. We'll jump to our first defensive play.
Dismissal.
There's the snap, little silly fake handoff.
Yeah, no, it's great.
And Josh is doing good here making his reads, right? He's taking a look. He's looking around the field. He's actually looking to the right-hand side of the field. I don't know if that's calculated or not.
He's
but
probably looking at Diggs.
He's probably looking at Diggs. That's his de facto. That's his guy.
Yep.
And then he scrambles, and, in that little hop step, he sees that Sanders has, the dude beat. So good.
Yep.
So good. But, all right, that is it for our offensive stuff. That is Josh Allen with the piss missile.
319! 399! Hut! 33!
Yeah, spot.
Blue 58!